everybody, it is episode 3 of Flock Talk. I'm Myles, I'm joined here with Chris and Kathryn, and today we're going to be talking about puzzle games. Should be a good time. Okay, so we're going to talk about some puzzle games, but first we got some hot topics to cover. I think we're going to start with you, Kathryn. A new video game system has been...
Yeah, I wanted to, sorry, cutting you off. I wanted to talk about the Switch. I know it was announced a little while ago now, but we've had some time to sort of think about it. We were originally going to be day one buyers, like when
probably all three of us, right?
When we saw the trailer, were you as well, Chris?
Yeah, I guess last month when we spoke about buying the Switch, I was pretty on board with buying the Switch.
Yeah, that first trailer looked so good, right?
I have since tried to pre-order the Switch and...
Oh, really?
Not necessarily going well. I think most places are...
Yeah, everywhere's sold out.
Yeah.
In fact, just recently the Pro controllers went on pre-sale and those sold out in a day as well.
Well, that's good.
Because, like, who wants to play that thing without the Pro controller, first of all? Nobody.
Is it that there's a secondary controller?
Yes.
It's not just the thing you pull off the sides, there's also another
Yeah, it's its own controller. So it feels just like a regular console control.
Oh, okay.
Right? But it's expensive. It's like $80-$90 here or something, right?
Yeah, it's $90 for the Pro controller, I believe, yeah.
That's more expensive.
Why is it so expensive? What's the...
Because it's a controller for the Nintendo Switch.
Oh! No, that makes sense.
Yeah. All the peripherals are outrageously priced.
I don't remember. Were Wiimotes really expensive? I don't remember.
They
I don't
still
think so.
kind of like they're still like $40 or
40
something.
or $50.
That's kind of expensive.
Do you remember? I mean, like,
I don't know what kind of money you have, but $50 is a lot to me.
Yeah, I mean that's only if you want other people to play games with you. It comes with the one controller, right?
Yeah.
I've heard that the controllers are small. You've seen it on the trailers, and the controllers look small in the trailers. I've heard that they're even smaller than that and not very comfortable.
Oh, really? Because I thought maybe it was people shilling for the company or something, but saying that actually when you actually hold them and use them, it's not that bad. And like the Wiimote was really hard to get used to as well, right?
Yeah.
So you still don't like the Wiimote nunchuck combination.
I really don't like motion controls at all.
My theory is it's because he's left-handed. There's something about games that don't allow you, like sports games for sure say, are you right or left-handed? But like he just played through Mini Ninjas for the Cartridge Club Game of the Month, and it didn't have an option to say, are you right or left-handed?
Does it matter with the Wiimote?
It does. It shouldn't. But
I don't think it does. This is all in her head, I think.
You think so? I think I would say that because you would struggle with some stuff, and I'm like, well, let me try because I'm right-handed.
And then you had the exact same problem. Opening the door, just opening the... Remember that?
Okay, shaking the
remote just to open a door.
Okay. There's a difference between a bad controller and terrible Wii games.
Because I have no problem with the motion controls for the Wii if we're playing Wii Sports or Wii Play.
Oh, sure.
Those are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Those are great games.
But like, I don't know if you notice, like if you point, like say you're just in the Wii menu and you point your motion controller at it, if you're right-handed, it points a certain way, like it points to the left and you're clicking. And when you're left-handed and you point, it starts like vibrating and shaking and stuff, and it doesn't always catch it.
So these controllers, they're small. The Wii Switch is expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive.
I think for us it was the games, right? There weren't enough games for us to say like, yes, we want.
Like the presentation that happened, they announced like 3 launch games, right? They announced Zelda, and then it was 1-2 Switch, which is silly. Everybody's spoken about how silly 1-2 Switch is. Should be a packing game. And then there was like Skylanders and Just Dance.
Oh yeah. And maybe Skyrim.
No. That's not a launch game at all.
Not on day one, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was...
No.
Oh, it's not a day one game.
No, definitely not.
They did a couple of Nintendo days afterwards, and then they announced like...
They announced Bomberman, World of Goo.
Yeah, I have it here. Little Inferno, Human Resource Machine, I Am Setsuna, and The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, which are like PC games, and they're indie developers or whatever. Like, World of Goo, I would think I played it on an iPad.
I played World of Goo 5 years ago.
I think I played it on the Wii when we just got the Wii.
And it was a demo or something
it was a
like
demo,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it still doesn't feel like, yes, now that's doubled, the number of games that we thought were going to be available day one, but half of them are old games, right?
So the one thing I want to say about it is that one thing that I feel like a lot of people aren't thinking about in terms of the future of the Switch is that the motion controls and the HD rumble are going to be really good if they come out with a VR peripheral. Because a VR peripheral happens, and now all of a sudden you can feel how many ice cubes are in a cup. That all of a sudden makes a lot more difference if you're being submerged in some sort of atmosphere.
Yeah, so that was part of the problem. Their demonstration of how good that rumble pack is that's built into these Wiimotes was ice cubes falling in a cup. And I don't care about being able to tell that. I can tell how many ice cubes you dropped in this cup. Well, I don't really care. How does it relate to a game that I'm going to play, right? So a lot of people are just like, well, who cares? It doesn't matter. But
and it's also hard to tell how good the rumble is because it's a completely subjective experience, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And
they can't show you how good the graphics are on the rumble. It's not a thing they can show you.
Yeah, and I think that's actually going to be the thing that will make the Switch really popular and successful, is if it's as good as they're saying it is.
Imagine you're playing a horror game in VR, and there's a flashlight on the ground, and you go and you grab it and you shake it, and you can tell how many batteries are inside the flashlight.
Oh, yeah, okay. Or you shake it and it clicks alive and stuff.
Yeah. Or there's a bag and you lift it and you can kind of tear something or feel what's inside the bag or if it's empty.
Especially in VR, you're right. When your senses are already, you're already feel like you're immersed in the game, and then now you have this sort of audible that really supports it.
Yeah.
So this is all kind of predicated on the idea that maybe Nintendo comes out with a VR system.
Exactly.
And maybe VR takes off in the next few years.
I'm not saying the theory is perfect.
There's a lot of things hanging off this.
I'm just saying that if that's what happens, the Nintendo Switch might be a lot more desirable than it currently is.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the subscription kind of service that they're coming out with? Where you get to rent
if it comes out
a Nintendo game
the way that they're saying it, it's trash.
Yeah. Just straight up trash.
I don't want to use my smart device to talk to people in a game that I'm playing. I want to be able to use talk to them
system
through the console.
Oh,
you didn't even know about that?
I didn't know about that. Listen, I'm very educated on the issue of the Switch and all the things going on. I kind of just know the main beats. And
you can't talk to people through the console. The controllers don't have a headphone jack.
Okay.
So you need to just use an app on your no, but it's the Nintendo one that you pay for monthly to talk to your friends instead of using Discord or
So not being able to get that pre-order might have been a blessing in disguise here.
And then on top of that, the system or what they're offering through their subscription-based service is also that you get to rent 2 games.
One game. It's either an NES or a Super Nintendo game.
Okay.
But it
for the month.
For the month.
For the whole month.
And then it goes away.
And then you gotta buy it.
And then they pull back your access to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why? Why would you need to do that?
So what they said was, since the games will now have online capabilities, like if you're playing Super Mario Kart, the original one, you'll be able to play it online with your friends.
So they don't want to have to support it for longer than.
And they want people to. Well, no, they want
sell
people.
It again.
Yeah, they're going to sell it, so it's still going to be available after. But they want people to enjoy that experience. If they released all games with that function at once, or after a month they release another one, people might still be playing the previous one without experiencing the new one. This is all just BS.
It's all garbage. That's the worst. Because what about most of the single player experiences? Like, say they've got Punch-Out. There's no multiplayer capability with Punch-Out.
No, I mean the online function for Punch-Out would be a leaderboard.
Like some kind of leaderboard.
Yeah.
Right. And
not important.
That would be very useful for all the 5 minutes until the best Punch-Out people in the world just played Punch-Out, and then that was it. Okay, so it sounds like that's not good.
No, I still want one. I don't know if I would subscribe online. If it is the way they say it is at this point, even $5 a month would be too much for me. And there's no way it would be cheaper than $5.
Does it all kind of depend on how good Breath of the Wild is?
We've never even played a Zelda game, so that has no bearing on us at all.
It all depends on how good Breath of the Wild is. If the
but
reviews
you don't
are good,
own a Wii U, right? We own a Wii U, so we could just buy it for that if we cared enough about getting it right away, right? We will get that game and we'll play upgrade eventually, but I think we'll wait. And if we do end up getting a Switch, we'd rather play it on the Switch because it's probably going to play exactly the same on both, but it might look better on the Switch. Now, I don't know.
I think ultimately we're just going to wait until the holidays come around and Mario Odyssey comes out, and then that's
see how good that is.
Yeah, and that's going to be the deciding factor. We're going to get the neon one.
Yeah.
Not the gray one.
Okay.
Are you going to get the gray one?
I don't know.
And then if you buy, I read this thing, if you buy the 2-pack Joy-Con controllers, the Joy-Cons or whatever, the 2-pack neons, it's the opposite. So then you will have one full set of red, and it's not, because the left and right controllers are different. They have different functionalities. So you would buy a 2-pack neon, but you would end up getting a left and a right and a left and a right in both colors, like a full set.
Okay.
So then you can have a set of blue ones and a set of that's important. It's not, but
overall with the Switch, I think what's good in a kind of macro sense about the Switch is that it's less about how good the thing is as a graphics pusher. Like the PS4 is amazing. It looks amazing. The games on it look amazing, and all of the games now cost millions and millions of dollars to produce.
Yeah.
And it's just driving the industry into complete and utter nonsense. And it feels like the Switch is putting the brakes on that, and maybe we're going to see more creativity from games without them having to have giant budgets and pre-order craziness and all of that kind of stuff that's happening.
Or it could just deter third-party game designers from working with something that has high limitations.
Well, which is part of what happened last time, right? But it feels like the Switch maybe has fewer limitations.
They've already reached out, right? Like the fact that on day one there's going to be a bunch of indie games that are coming out means that they are already partnering up and reaching out to indie companies to provide and develop for Switch. So I think that it's promising.
Yeah, I think Nintendo has correctly identified that. Maybe they haven't identified this and I'm just imparting it upon them, but I think they've correctly identified that graphics is not where games are going. Like it can't.
Yeah.
Like they can't keep doing this. They can't make us buy something every 5 years so that we can see how nice the grass is in the newer game, right?
And it's just like,
I don't know, Chris.
Well,
that grass is pretty nice.
But
until I can taste it.
Sony makes televisions, right? Sony makes 4K TVs, and so they're going to want to make a system that shows off how great their 4K TV is.
You're blowing my mind right now. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. It'll never end.
Yeah. So, but the problem is... The problem is the PlayStation Plus we pay for, and it's absolutely worth it because we play Overwatch like nonstop.
And we like the free games that we get.
And you get free games that you get to keep forever, right? For as long as you have your PlayStation Plus account. So then there's no way that we would also pay for a Nintendo. Like PlayStation Plus has already gone up in price for us, so I just can't imagine the Nintendo online services being worth paying another monthly expense that we need to keep up.
Right.
Because I get plenty from the PlayStation Plus, and that's all I need.
You know what? I've had enough of these video games taking advantage of us and milking us for money. So I'm fighting back a little bit. I like to find a deal when I can.
He fought back hard this month.
So EB Games released a promotion, and they had a list of games that they were willing to take for $25 each, up to $50 towards a pre-order. Okay. On the list of games, I just took a look, and one of them was Disney Infinity 2.0 with base. Toys R Us has Disney Infinity 2.0 with base on clearance.
And we had already bought it. We had already bought 3 sets. One for
with
three
base.
different...
What do you mean by with base?
Oh, so it's like the main game, like
it's
the
like
big
Skylanders,
box,
right? So it has a little thing that you have
where you put the figure on it.
Okay, so you guys just had 3 of these big box base games sitting around.
It was in clearance.
Yeah, I mean you have the space.
Let's not get into that again.
You have massive amounts of inventory of games you're just waiting to unload.
You would shake your head if you heard about what we did with Infinity stuff, but...
And Toys R Us has another promotion going on top of this clearance, where if you buy one clearance item, you get the second one for half price.
Okay.
So if you want $50 in credit at EB Games, it costs you $15 of cash at Toys R Us.
Okay.
So I just started doing it constantly. I was like, I don't know what's coming out. I'll just pre-order everything.
Yeah.
Because it's better than the Amazon deal that we usually do once a year, where you get like 30% off of pre-orders. Like getting the $35 towards a pre-order is a lot better.
You essentially got all of these pre-orders for free.
Well, no,
because you have to pay $15 for the clearance item.
He's paying about 30 some odd dollars.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
For a day one title, though, like that's. And we know how you feel about pre-ordering.
But No Man's Sky 2 just came out on pre-order. So anyway, first off, I pre-ordered Yakuza 0, and I got it.
No, you did Resident Evil 7.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil 7. Yeah. I decided I wanted to wait for reviews, so I switched it to Yakuza 0, which I knew I was going to be happy with.
Yeah.
And the reviews for that are really good.
Yeah, I still want Resident Evil 7, but I feel like I can get that on Black Friday or something. Anyway, I reserved that one, and then I reserved God of War, because I know it's going to be a day one thing for me.
Nice.
You've not played any God of War, have you?
I have not, but I saw the trailer and it looks amazing.
For this one,
I pre-ordered a Death Stranding, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do it again. This will be the last time. I'm going to pre-order something else. So we buy a couple more of those Disney Infinity bases at Toys R Us. I go to EB Games. The day before I had pre-ordered something.
Yeah.
On this day, I go to EB Games and they say, these things are worth $1 each. And I say, no. Not today, EB Games. I said, yesterday I came in here and I did the same thing, and you gave me $50 for this.
Yeah.
And today, $1. And I opened up the website on my phone and I showed them. I clicked the link that shows them all of the games and the prices.
Yeah.
And I was correct. But in the small print on the bottom, it says, we have the right to change the price at any time.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, fine. So
and they changed the. You know what? You're the reason why they changed the price.
I left. You know what?
Fair enough.
I left.
How many did you buy?
Listen, I left. I understood that she got me with the fine print, so I went across the street to the other EB Games. And so I'm like, hi, I could tell that the cashier was new. It had a lot of questions.
Oh, no.
So I went to the cashier and I was like, here's my phone. I'm providing you with the trade-in.
Yeah.
I already have it loaded up on my phone to prove to you it is worth more than $1. She scans it, $1. I say, no. This is $25 each. And she goes, oh, I'm going to have to wait for somebody else. And I say, no problem. I'll wait.
Yeah.
I'll wait. In the meantime, somebody else comes in and does a trade-in. This guy brings in Final Fantasy 15, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and Zelda Wind Waker HD. Trade-in towards Resident Evil. Yeah. They say, we'll give you $6 for for Tropical Freeze, $9 for Wind Waker, and $20 credit for Final Fantasy 15 because he has the Onyx card.
Oh,
so that's why he got all the amazing offers from EB Games. And Final Fantasy 15 just $20. They just came out. So he was like, fine, let's do it. And they didn't have a copy of Resident Evil 7 for him. It had sold out. So he's like, I got to go somewhere else. And he leaves. I say, hold on a second. I chase the guy down outside. And I say, listen, you are going to get $20 for that Final Fantasy 15. I'll give you 25 cash right now. And he's like, sure. So I get this Final Fantasy 15 right in front of the people at the EB Games. Yeah. And I come back and I'm like, give me my $50.
That was not enough of a win for Myles.
I was like, you give me the $50 for these Disney Infinities. They're like, okay, we're gonna have to call the manager. Yeah. Manager's phone they weren't answering it. So the assistant manager came in and I said, listen, honor this deal. Honor this deal.
You went into like full-blown salesman mode here.
I went, honor this deal for me. I come here all the time.
Where's your Onyx card, sir?
I'm your number one biggest customer.
And he said, we'll honor this deal for you. And then we did the trade-in and he said, you've made so many trade-ins, your gold card has gone up. You now save an additional 5%. On all your pre-orders.
God.
So I got Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, which was only $55, completely paid for because of the extra 5%.
When you get the email invitation to their big going out of business sale, are you
come on. They were going to give that man $20 for Final Fantasy 15. Day one edition. Came out 2 weeks ago.
All of these stores in 2 years are going to be completely out of business.
I can't believe, when I heard you tell that story before, I was like, everyone just walks away. They're like, you know what? I've pushed my luck. This is the 4th time I've tried to screw them over on this deal. You know what?
It's not even the 4th time you tried. It's the 4th time that you tried in your successful runs of screwing them.
Yeah, and I'm like, most people are just like, you know what? I'll take this $15 loss. It's still a win on my end, but not Myles. Myles
so
is
overall,
like,
it cost me $60, and I got $200 in credit.
Oh gosh,
that's not bad.
That's pretty
and
good.
he's getting pretty good games. And the other thing is, he can switch the title. Like Death Stranding didn't have an actual release date.
Neither does Crash Bandicoot,
because it's coming out like way into the future. So if something else comes up, he can just switch it over.
And then I want to see also if I can combine my pre-orders to all go on one game.
No, stop.
I want to see if in a couple months we'll check in and I'll tell you. Let me do that.
Why do you need to screw them over? I don't understand this.
So, Chris, you've got a real hot topic for us.
I've got the hottest topic. I am playing a very, very hard game. And I can't get past the first level. I don't understand the hype. It's called Glitter Mitten Grove. Everyone was like, "Buy this game. It's really interesting.
I've never
Something
even heard
happens."
of it.
No,
sure.
totally. It's a PC game?
Yeah, it's a PC game. So I buy it on Steam. It's expensive. It's like $22. And
how precious that's expensive.
I can't get into it. I can't get into it at all. It's just a game about fairies. And
it sounds good to me.
I spent 2.5 hours. I'm past the refund window, so I can't refund it anymore. I don't know. Have you guys heard anything about this?
No.
Just from you. I heard something about frog fractions.
Yeah, spoilers! Yeah, so Frog Fractions 2 came out, and if you haven't played Frog Fractions 1, go in your browser and play Frog Fractions 1, because I think it's a good 2-hour experience.
Open a new browser.
Yeah. While you're listening to this.
Yeah,
go play
you don't
Frog
need the
Fractions
sound
1.
for Frog Fractions.
Yeah.
Until later.
Okay.
Well,
you told me you were like, you guys should play Frog Fractions. So I loaded it up and I'm like, oh, it's really cute. It's just like a frog and you lick bugs and save your fruit. And then I turned it off. Little did I know that if you continue to play that game, it's not about licking bugs at all and saving your fruit.
No.
To weird
not
fractions.
At all. You then go interstellar and you...
It turns really bizarre. You gave us a little demo and we were like, what the heck is going on here?
I remember I showed it to a friend of mine. I texted him when I first found out about it and I said, go here and play this. And about an hour into it, he texted me back like, what the hell is this? It's like, I think it's made by the guys or some guys from Adult Swim. So it's got the same kind of
bizarre
humor, bizarre aesthetic. Things happen.
It almost feels like stream of consciousness.
Yeah, like a non sequitur kind of game. But yeah, like a stream of consciousness game. Like what would be cool to happen now, and then it happens. So Glitter Mitten Grove, they kickstarted Frog Fractions 2 a while ago, and then I think when I read the Kickstarter, it said that they were never going to announce when Frog Fractions 2 came out. They were just...
It's been out?
Yeah, it's been out for some months in Glitter Mitten Grove.
So someone discovered it in
you had to discover it in the game.
That's insane.
It's not hard to discover.
But somebody had to buy the game not knowing it was...
Right.
Is it the same company?
Yeah, it's the same. Grove? Yeah, it's the same guys that made Frog Fractions.
So you could just follow that company and buy whatever game they were making, right?
Oh, sorry. I think on Steam it was a different company.
They gave it. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
they gave it a different.
So.
But it was their game.
Well, because
right?
Frog Fractions 1 is not a game you can buy. So.
Oh yeah, there's no way to figure that out. So yeah, if you should definitely check it out for yourself. We're purposefully not saying certain things about the game, just that it gets weird and it's not the game you think it is.
Yeah.
So if you're into that sort of thing, it's in a browser, it's free. Why not check it out?
Yeah, and if you don't want to spend the money for Glitter Mitten Grove, go buy Pony Island, which is now probably $5 on Steam, maybe even less.
Does that have the same feel? Like
same feel.
Bizarre. You don't know what's going on, but you can't stop playing.
Yeah.
So
if you like Frog Fractions after you've played it for free, and go play Pony Island, because Pony Island was really great last year.
Yeah, you kept telling us to. We haven't yet. I own it, but we haven't played it yet.
You guys should play Pony Island.
All right.
Is it a puzzle game?
No.
Oh, well then I don't know why you're talking about it, because our episode's about puzzle games, and we're going to go into that right now.
Actually, there is a little bit of puzzle in Pony Island.
So, puzzle games for me, were kind of a surprise. I mean, like, when I played video games as a kid, I would play, like, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3. Like, they were always, like, platformers, side-scrollers, until I got a game called Maniac Mansion. And I was trying to just side-scroll, keep on walking, and I just couldn't get it into a house. I didn't understand how that was a thing.
Can I jump onto the house?
I was like, I guess this game's broken. I don't know how do you game this game?
Right.
And it took a little while later. A friend came over and he's like, "Oh, we should play this." And he showed me if you move the carpet, you can get the key and you can open the door.
You couldn't get in the house?
No.
I was only playing Super Mario Brothers. My understanding of what a video game was platforming. I thought every video game
intuition.
was zero.
Interesting.
Well, you were 8.
I didn't. Yeah. Yeah. I just found out that games could be so different, and they could challenge you in so many different ways. Did you guys have similar experiences?
Yeah, so we got a computer when, say, I was 9 years old, and one of the computer games that came with it, or one of the computer games that my parents bought very early on, was Day of the Tentacle, which is also this month's free game on PlayStation.
We got
Network.
it. We're gonna
I
play it.
downloaded it, and I have played through it, most of it, and still just as good as it was back then.
Is it remastered for PS4?
Yes.
Okay.
It's hilarious. It's Maniac Mansion 2.
Yeah.
So all the characters, I think, I never played through Maniac Mansion, but all the characters from Maniac Mansion show up in in Day of the Tentacle. And it's just how good the puzzles are. Like, because you have to, there's a guy who goes into the past. I'll try not to spoil Day of the Tentacle, but my goodness, it's 30 years old. So get with it. So in the past, you have to wash a car so that a rain cloud will come out, so that Benjamin Franklin will his kite experiment will happen.
Okay, so that type of puzzle solving. Right?
Yeah.
Like...
So, and because it always rains when you wash your car, you have to start washing the car for the clouds to appear.
You know, that's called a California car wash or something like that.
Sure. And it was just that kind of logic, and I didn't really get through it as a 10-year-old without massive help along the way.
I'll forgive that lack of intuition and
but it's still good. It was still good because of how good the characters were, because of how good the
art.
Voice acting was, the art.
Yeah.
It drew you in to what was happening, and it's just an amazing game, and I think it still holds up today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it because I've played other point-and-click games, right? And that's all a point-and-click game is finding stuff, but also figuring out how to use the stuff you find to
combine
solve.
them with certain things.
Right.
Who wants this item?
Yeah, so like I had PCs growing up and played a lot of different Sierra games. I didn't play a lot of the ones that most people play. Like I didn't play King's Quest. I played one Space Quest, I think Space Quest 3, but I really liked Police Quest.
Okay.
2 and 3 I played Police Quest, and then I played all the Leisure Suit Larrys. Like I just had those ones, and they're goofy but fun.
Yeah. The first dating sim, right? That's gotta be the first dating sim.
And so I just love puzzle games. That's kind of like all I ever played. We just did the Cartridge Club Top 100 list, and I looked at my list and was like, I wonder how many of these are puzzle games. Like a quarter of them, 25% of them were
25% of your favorite
my personal
100...
list of games where I would consider puzzle games, because I include things like Lego games, because there's platforming and stuff like that and shooting or whatever, but to progress through a level you need to figure out how to, like I call it like level solving. Like you have to figure out how to get to the next cutscene or the next area, right? And it involves, pushing blocks and building things and stuff like that. So it's light puzzle, but it still involves like a little bit of thought,
I think now, like the current climate of the video game entertainment industry is that most of the puzzle games that come out are made by indie companies. So a lot of indie games that come out are puzzle games, and they've started to pick up a lot of steam and even get nominated for like Game of the Year, not just Indie Game of the Year. Mm-hmm. One of the games that really picked up a lot of steam was Limbo when it came out. People were all about Limbo, and it it lets you interpret the story.
Right.
You're running around, you're this boy, and there's horrifying creatures out to kill you. But you don't have a weapon, you can't defend yourself. You're just platforming in a puzzly way, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm describing this well.
I think that's probably what I would say.
Limbo also had like physics involved in it too, right? Like you had to like kind of understand like magnets and gravity and things like that. And and it had like a little basic understanding and manipulating that stuff. And did you ever finish Limbo?
I never finished Limbo.
You got pretty far though.
With puzzle games and me in particular, I feel like I can get burnt out or just frustrated to the point of not wanting to continue.
What are your thoughts on looking up solutions, Chris?
As the years have passed, I have become more sympathetic to the sometimes need to look up a solution to get past a point where I don't think the solution is going to fundamentally alter my knowledge of the game. Like if it's a puzzle that's supposed to be training you to learn other puzzles and you start looking that up, you're probably missing out on the fundamental experience of the game.
Well, Myles talks about that too, because he's like, if you look up that stuff or you find a way to skip it, then you're just doing yourself a disservice, because generally in these games they build on these skills that you learn, right?
Yeah,
and if you skip it, then you haven't learned it, and it's just going to get harder and harder. Right?
I mean, we're not talking about like match 3 puzzle games or anything like that in this episode, but what I usually say that about is Candy Crush, like the people who pay money to get to pass a level in Candy Crush. It's like that level was teaching you a skill about resource management that you will not be able to build upon, so you're just going to have to pay again to pass the next level.
To be fair, if you're paying for Candy Crush is also throwing up an obstacle in your way to force you to pay for it.
Yes.
Like, Candy Crush.
Well, once you open that
once you open the Pandora's box of paying for Candy Crush.
I was like, we talked about this because like we never paid anything in Candy Crush, right? And I played until like it was on my top 100 list, because even if I don't think it's the greatest game, I played it to like level 1400 or something like that, or 1200 or something, and I didn't pay a cent. And we like met people who were like, oh man, I don't like looking at my credit card bill because I don't want to see the Candy Crush costs on there. I'm like, what are you spending your money on?
There's no end game.
Yeah.
No, but there's no end game.
Why
what
do you need to get?
for?
Yeah, I just didn't understand it. I was like, oh, well, so that's how Candy Crush makes money. Like some people just want to keep going, and they don't
like, oh man, I just want to see the ending. It's not that.
No, real digression. I played some Clash
Royale.
Some Clash Royale, and I paid for a bit of Clash Royale. I bought some of the currency and stuff, or whatever you paid for. But there's an end game. You just you
want to get to it.
Yeah, you buy some stuff and you play against better players, and they're just better than you, and that's the game, right? But in Candy Crush, nothing.
Yeah, you're just
like, what are you doing? You just want to see another level?
Like I finally stopped playing Candy Crush because it was like exactly that. I was just like, I'm not bad enough at the game that I can't get past a level. So then I'm just gonna be in this forever. So I'm just gonna stop, to the chagrin of my mother, who's like, you don't play Candy Crush anymore. Now I don't get free lives. So, but with a Korean accent.
But the game that we played this month, that we both played, was Inside.
Absolutely. Which is the spiritual successor to Limbo.
Which is why I guess we were talking about Limbo before. But Inside, I played it, and everyone was saying Inside was like a game of the year, so I loaded it up. Inside probably took me...
It's not long.
Yeah, probably 7 hours.
7-8 hours?
Yeah, 7-8 hours-ish. So not a long game.
They say it's like a 3-hour, 4-hour game, but if you want to savor everything, there's a lot to look at and a lot to try to decipher.
Sure. Maybe it was closer to like 4 or 5 hours.
Whatever,
I can't even remember. It's on the shorter end. And just trying to figure out what's going on and where this game is going was part of, like, a real part of the enjoyment. But there were also nice puzzles in it that, especially some of the stuff, spoilers, this is nonsense too, but the stuff under the water.
Yeah.
That's enough.
The stuff under the water was hard, and I at one point was like, how the hell am I going to get past this?
Yeah, but then when you see it, you go, yeah, and you solve it like immediately.
Yeah, there's like a real aha moment down there. The rest of the game the puzzles weren't too hard.
Yeah, there was one thing that I got by accident that I felt like if I didn't get, I would be so confused how it was supposed to know that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's a lot of the games, a lot of puzzle games are like that.
Right.
And don't feel bad about looking stuff up online just to solve a puzzle, because it is worth it to play all the way through inside. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I think that too, and I think that's kind of like my barometer for when I choose to look something up. If I'm playing a game and I'm stuck and I'm starting to get angry, and the option is I just stop and I never finish the game and I get mad at the game and now I hate that game. I don't want to hate the game that I'm playing, right? So I'm like, if I really feel like, and I try really hard and I'll exhaust all options, I'm like, you know what? I feel like I have clicked on everything. I've tried to do everything that I can think of, and I'm not going to be able to progress if I don't look it up. Like, I love puzzle games. It doesn't mean I'm good at them, and I get stumped easily. Not always easily, but some things I can figure out and some things I just can't.
But one of the things I wanted to talk about was how different the puzzle games can be and how bad they can be when they don't have a good narrative behind them, when they're just solving things on the screen. Like The Witness, I played through the entirety of The Witness last year. It took me, I don't know how long, but The Witness is a longer kind of...
It's like 20 hours or
something like that. I don't know. And The Witness was hard. It was a hard puzzle game. It got hard in the middle. But there was nothing driving the game besides my desire to see more of the game. And by the end, once I had seen everything, I was like, I don't know if I needed to see all of that. Like,
and is it just like, do you just discover, like, go from puzzles and puzzles? Because I've always wanted to play The Witness.
Yeah.
But
You don't want to feel like you just went through a workbook of puzzles. You want to feel like you went through a piece of fiction. Right. That you were working through, you know?
The Witness is probably the best workbook of puzzles ever, but at the end you just have a book of finished puzzles.
Yeah.
And you just throw it out in the garbage because it's dispensable, I think. That's
yeah. I think that
because you can never redo those puzzles, you know the answers.
You know the answers. There's no way you can't go back. And there are some hidden things in The Witness but they end up just being videos of people talking.
Oh.
You get one pretty early on if you're at all into The Witness, and I never found the rest of them because after that I was like, I don't care about those. Because they're not driving my experience of why I'm on this island. It was very much, people compared it to Myst. And it made no sense to me because I was like, Myst, there is a narrative here.
Was there? I don't remember Myst.
100% a narrative to Myst. There is a whole thing going on in Myst. And it's there.
You're putting the book together, right? In
yeah.
Myst, and the story is relevant.
The story is relevant.
Okay, and the puzzles are unlocking more and more of it? Or like you have to progress through them? I just remember getting stuck in Myst, and then back then you couldn't look up how to do it. So
yeah.
Then I just never played it.
Myst is probably the game that everyone owned and nobody finished.
Yeah.
Except for a small group of people who were somehow patient enough to get through that steam train level.
Because I think they also had like some like no logic to the solutions, right? Where it was just, you know, if it was like a number thing, like you would just have to guess the numbers. You'd have to trial and error and stuff like that. I think.
I don't think so. But,
really?
Yeah, I think there were clues enough in the world.
Yeah,
but
I'm just really bad at puzzle games.
No, that was like a game where you needed to go through with like pen and paper and draw stuff out and write stuff out.
Oh, okay.
And like
I was pretty young, I think.
Yes, my dad did it. I watched him do it, and he like got through the entirety of Myst by himself.
That's amazing.
But, yeah,
and that's why you are who you are today.
And that's why I really like puzzle games. My father showed them to me when I was 8 years old.
Yeah, but Witness, going back to The Witness, some people have said it was like an amazing game last year. I actually don't agree with them at all. I think
really?
that it was a fun 20-hour experience.
But you're not telling everyone to go out and buy it.
No, because I don't think that fundamentally it meant anything.
What would you tell people to buy instead?
I would tell them to play Inside. I would tell them to load up the Day of the Tentacle, because I think if you got through the Day of the Tentacle puzzles, you would probably have as much aha moments during it.
Oh, okay.
Now, it is a shame that the Playdead Studios, the two founders, kind of broke up over this last game that they're working, or this third
You said
game.
that for like the last year they weren't talking to each other.
Yeah, they worked in the same studio together,
really?
and they didn't say a word to each other for the last year because they were getting into disagreements of release schedules. Because these games come out like one every 5 years or something like that. So one of them wanted to move things along and push it forward, and the other one is like, no, we got to make it perfect and then release it.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, hey, I do too. Like,
I'd rather wait. Right?
I felt like Inside was perfect. Like there was nothing.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing else I wanted out of Inside, and I was totally happy with the experience.
Yeah.
Really
and besides
satisfying.
being just like a good puzzle game, it's just a really good experience, right?
And
like,
beautiful. It's a beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful in its horror.
Yeah.
That game. But you play, Kathryn. You're playing a different style of puzzle game, actually on your phone.
Yeah,
the light from the phone keeps me up at night when I'm in bed. So maybe you want to.
I just got this game yesterday, so. It's the Room 3, and I've played the first 2 rooms. It's just their mobile game, so I played a couple on my tablet. Like I have a big tab, like a 10-inch tablet.
Sure. So, Kathryn, if you had to explain,
Oh no,
the
no! Why
Room
does this always happen
games
to me?
to a amorphous blob of arms and legs, how would you go about doing that? Like if it was just screaming at you, like
Why
kind
am
of
I doing
rolling
this?
towards you.
I would first just show them the game itself because it's gorgeous. It's really beautiful.
It's getting closer.
I don't know if I can do this. I don't know about this. I'm always stuck with it. You guys always gang up on me when I have to explain these things. But the Room is like probably one of the best, I think, puzzle games for mobile. Like I play a lot. I don't know if you've ever played any like escape games, like Escape the Room or 100 Doors or something like that. And it's just like click on a few things.
Yeah,
You know.
that's what I've found.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not doing that.
No.
That's what I've found those escape room games to always be, and so I never bothered.
Yeah,
with
you just
any
like
of them
click,
again.
click, click. Okay, this opened that, and then oh, there's 4 colors here, and they match this puzzle here, so change them to those 4 colors, and you're out. But the Room it has a narrative, and I think that's actually what we're talking about. But the difference between a good puzzle game and like something like The Witness, a narrative changes your experience, right? So I mean, I played and you have played Sherlock games on PlayStation, and that's it's just a regular Sherlock story, and you're solving cases, and it just feels like you're more involved in it. The Room doesn't really have that. Like, it's first person and you kind of just click your way through, but it's gorgeous artwork, and it has a story that kind of, you don't know what you're doing. You're trapped in a room, and I think the first one is just like you see like a box, and it's got all these intricate locks, and you have to sort of figure out how to unlock each piece. And as you do, it opens up more rooms in this place that you're in, and you go explore a little bit. But as you go through it, you find these scrolls and letters, and you can click on them if you want or not, but that's where the story reveals itself.
Okay.
So if it's something that you want, like if you want there to be a story and a reason why you're doing this stuff, you could try to follow along. They're very cryptic though, because it's like the person who trapped you in this room kind of like explaining why he did it, and like the overall like, no, we're working towards this thing that's happening. But it is, it's just a really easy game to play. I play it just on my I have like a crappy S4 or something, but it's small and it's easy to play on it, and I think you would really like it.
Yeah, sounds great.
Because it's like good puzzles. It's like sometimes it's just like trying to get a machine to work, so you have to find all the right pieces and stuff, and then other times it's like just good puzzles. I don't really know how to explain it, but have you ever played any like hidden object games?
Okay, so I played a few hidden object games.
Because
I couldn't tell you which ones they are because they're mostly forgettable.
One of them made my top 100. It was Mystery of Joyville. It's like Puppet Show or something. But it has the same kind of types of puzzles, right? So yes, I like hidden object games. I like just looking at a big pile of mess and finding the kitty cat or whatever and the pencil. But
oh, right. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
but they have a story kind of, and then they also have like puzzles, like actual puzzles, like where you have to manipulate, switches and things like that in order to open stuff. And,
or like you'll get a bunch of cogs and you have to put them in the right order.
like
so that
putting all the gears in the right way
yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, I like those types of puzzle games, and it really is a brain workout. So I don't know if this amorphous blob with arms and legs also has a brain, but it would need one in order to play this game. Is it capable of thought? If it is, then it might enjoy
I think
games.
it can still solve puzzles.
It can play multiple games because if it has many legs or many arms, you can play all the rooms at the same time.
All kinds of devices. It's just checking out all the devices.
But it's a little expensive. Like, I don't know, it was like $5 or something. I don't know if that's expensive.
You could spend more money on your phone doing less.
Yeah. So
like Candy Crush.
I think it's maybe more expensive when it first came out, but I had forgotten about it. I actually knew it came out on Apple because Guillermo del Toro was playing it, and he tweeted. He was like tweeting all this stuff about how great Room 3 is, and I was like, oh, well, it's not out on Android yet, but it is now, and I remembered, and I got it, and it's great.
It's perfect for people who like real life escape rooms, and then they can do this.
Which we do.
Yeah.
We're not great at escaping them, but we love them.
We're getting better.
We're getting better because I play games like The Room, and it's helping me.
All right.
Okay, so I guess the real life tie-in is if they have escape rooms in your city, go do those.
Yes.
It's like real life video games.
Yeah.
Real life puzzle game.
If you have a quality one in your city, or if you have even like a medium quality one, you don't have to have like the best kind of stuff in your city. But if you have a decent one, go and do those. Gather 3 of your friends and play these real live action ones, because some of them have really good.
Company and Company, which is the one that we go to a lot in Toronto, brought them from San Francisco, and they're the ones that brought the original escape rooms over from Japan. So those ones have they're really challenging, really tough puzzles, but so much fun. We don't even care that we don't escape most of the time.
And you know what makes them so good sometimes is the story.
Yeah.
Right? Like if it was just a series of workbooks that you had to do, you'd be like, this is trash.
Just buy a puzzle book.
Yeah, exactly.
Just buy The Witness. You want to sit there quietly and do puzzles by yourself. The Witness is a really good game for that. I just don't think at the end of The Witness you're going to think about The Witness again.
Now, there's other games that I think are kind of like puzzle games. They're like walking simulators, like Firewatch, which came out on limited run games. I know you said you played it, you didn't really like it.
Did you play Firewatch?
We are on to day 3. We're gonna finish it.
Okay, sure.
I'm curious about what's gonna happen next. I like it so far. I don't know if I actually like my main character. I think that might be my biggest problem.
I played an hour and a half of Firewatch. I did not get anywhere. I don't think I got halfway through the game. I think there's enough game there. And I got a refund on Steam because I was like...
Did you just know you weren't going to finish it? Or?
No, because I think that what I was experiencing, and this may be not what other people experience, but what I was experiencing was an on-the-rails experience where my choices weren't really mattering. And I know that in other walking simulators, my choices don't matter either. Like when I was playing Gone Home. My choices don't matter in Gone Home, but I felt like it was a bit more compelling than Firewatch. But that might just be because the story Firewatch was telling was not a story I was particularly interested in at the time.
I felt pretty upset after the first 10 minutes of Firewatch.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, okay, fine. After the first 10 minutes, I was like, this is sad.
Yeah, I think so far I think it's a pretty interesting game, but I don't know if you'd call it really a puzzle game, more of a walking simulator. The reason why I bring it up is because we have a winner from last month's contest. We were giving away a copy of Firewatch, and to enter the contest, all you have to do is tweet us at #FlockTalk. So I did a random.org of all the people who hashtagged FlockTalk last month, and the winner is Kel, Red Zone Rogue, also known as VBC Trinity on YouTube.
Hey, dun 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 dun.
So contact us with your address, and we can mail that out to you. It's still factory sealed. and you can flip it. I actually know that guy has a PS4, so maybe he'll play it.
Yeah, it comes more from a gaffe from Myles and I, where we went to buy our limited run games and actually ended up with an extra copy. So it's good that it's going to go to someone who might actually get to play it.
So if you wanted to win a prize from Flock Talk, all you have to do is tweet us your favorite puzzle game or a puzzle game experience you have with the hashtag Flock Talk. And we will announce what the prize is sometime during this month.
Another prize?
Another prize every month.
Every month? No. Are we going to do one every month?
I'm going to do one every month. I'm crazy.
You have a lot of stuff.
Also, I don't want these people getting used to the idea that we only talk about the prizes at the end. We're putting the prize talk anywhere in the middle. The prize talk
You'll never know when we're going to talk about the prize.
Yeah, this is not just a podcast you can skip to the end, enter the prizes. I know you're doing it. Okay? You gotta listen, I guess. I mean, there's probably in the end 25
there's probably some Disney,
so it doesn't really matter.
Disney Infinity 2.0 coming your way.
We got a bunch of copies of that.
We have lots of copies. We have lots of figures from the boxes.
Oh, we got NBA Live 2014.
Yeah. I have a refunded copy of Firewatch.
No, it'll be something better than that. I just don't know what.
I also wanted to mention that we did a CC 100. Both Kathryn and I listed our top 100 games.
Oh, yes, I talked about it. A quarter of them were puzzles.
You can find those lists on cartridgeclub.org, as well as a lot of other podcasts and videos from very capable, amazing creators.
Yeah, it was a really fun experiment. So they kind of borrowed the formula from Bonus Barrel, and then they got the community to submit their lists, and then you had to rank them and stuff, and they got points.
And then they made an amalgamated list of all of our lists, and some of us, myself included, got to do voiceovers over some of the games in a video.
A 10-part series, and they're beautifully edited, and all the different community support and input and participation in these videos, and they look really good. I highly suggest you go watch them.
Search for CC 100 and the Cartridge Bros on YouTube, and you'll be able to find those.
It is retro heavy though.
Also, I make an appearance on the Mini Ninjas Game of the Month podcast, which should be out by the time this is out, so you can go and take a listen to that as well.
Did you talk about being left-handed and having problems using the Wiimotes?
You'll have to find out. Check out the Mini Ninjas episode.
It's just my conspiracy theory, I guess.
So that's all we have for this month. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll be back in March with another new episode. We're not going to go bi-weekly yet. We're maybe working towards it in 2020. For now, in the foreseeable future, we're once a month. Some people were saying some things.
Listen, the waiting makes it better. If all you're drinking is Coke, the Coke is not as good as if you waited to have. And this podcast is definitely the Coke of podcasts. So
you mean the drink, right? The Coca-Cola. Thank you all so much for listening. For Kathryn and Chris, I'm Myles. Later.